I am Donnie, and I am the cute one.
And I'm Chelsea, and I'm the cute one.
TGIF, cuties.
Ooh, I'm going to just be upfront, Donnie. I'm in a real bitch mood today.
Oh, no, why?
I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I've been up since that time, couldn't go back to bed. I was awoken by a sound that can only be described as the Polar Express's foghorn, perhaps. My husband, my sweet, lovable, bald beacon of hope, was laying next to me, and the fart that man trumpeted out of his asshole woke me from my slumber. So then I just laid there, hour after hour after hour, glaring at him, angry that he was peacefully sleeping after tooting up a storm over there, but I was forced to lay awake.
Okay, well, let me make you laugh then. I might as well be in blackface, Chelsea, because thank you for not saying anything, especially because you are a bitch today, but this is my haircut. I went to get a haircut yesterday, and he was bringing down, like, the random strays, as you do. Random strays, random strays, random strays, random strays. And then said, do you want me to bring this down? And I thought he meant the same thing. Just random, maybe a nose hair here or two. He brought it down. He detached it from my nose. White people don't get this kind of beard, Chelsea. Only men of color get this kind of beard.
Well, you were once called a Fat Joe doppelganger, and the facial hair is Joeing.
It is. I had plans to go out for my friend's birthday yesterday to see Hadestown, details in a few, and I almost canceled. I almost just sent the tickets and said, bring your mom, I don't care, but I cannot leave the house like this in public.
I noticed that you look different, but I think that I am like a straight man when it comes to noticing a haircut. Like, I knew something was different, but that's the face blindness, I think. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, of why all of a sudden Skinny Fat Joe is my co-host.
Yesterday, it was giving Puerto Rican. Today, looking at me on camera, Chelsea, it looks like in Mulan when they wear the makeup and then pretend to be men over top. That's what I feel like today. Either way, not thrilled.
You look like Megan Fox wearing a fake beard. Does that make you feel better?
Ugh, it'll have to.
But I think that you really are in your manifesting era, because just a few weeks ago, you talked about how Quinn always said that you have a Hitler mustache.
Not anymore. You know what I want? That, and I don't want it just as a mustache. I want that big
porn star
push broom mustache, where when I'm sucking a dick, it's like someone's cleaning the floor.
You would love, I just had a dinner party with my high school girlfriends and all of our husbands, and you would love one of my girlfriend's husbands because he looks like the Lorax.
Wow. And you know, I famously love to try to steal your friends' husbands. So here's another one to
There's
the list.
another one. Yeah.
So like I said, I did go see Hadestown yesterday, and that is a show I think I want to take you to. I can't tell if you would like it or not. That's the one that me, you, and Sloan talked about. Well, I have seen it 5 times on Broadway because they change the cast like every 6 months. So then I have to go. It's a brand new experience. So it's a Greek tragedy, a retelling of a Greek tragedy, but it's like steampunk. Like there's a lot of like rust on stage and pipes, shit like that.
Okay.
People wear suspenders.
Maybe I will like it. Not that I'm super into steampunk, but every millennial went through a Greek mythology era.
That's why I like it a lot. But they changed the cast. Yesterday was the new cast's first night. Some of the cast members in this group really speak to me. The girl that was the lead in Once on This Island, which you may recall I saw 15 times on Broadway. That's when I was in a I don't need therapy, I can handle things on my own stage.
And clearly that was working out quite well.
So the only joy in my life at that time was to see Once on This Island on Broadway. So I have a connection to this actress.
She was your therapist for a short period of time.
Yeah, for 15 sessions at least. So I took my friend for his birthday to see this production because he likes this actress as well. And I was like, wonderful. And one thing about me, I love to give gifts that are a gift to myself as well. I was going to see her first production no matter what. But then when it turned out it was on his birthday week, I was like, oh, this is just
the Olivia Newton-John effect.
Yes. Because then yesterday, when we were at dinner before, he found out I like the actress. And he was like, oh, you like her? And I was like, did I wrap myself out? Now he knows it's not just a gift because he likes her. And I was like, the jig is up. Yes, I like her more than I like you, actually.
Well, it was still very generous of you to bring your friend along. And I don't think that the jig is up. Let me rephrase that. The jig has probably been up. Because if you are your friend, like I know when you said, hey, let's see Mariah Carey in Baltimore, you were going to see Mariah Carey's Christmas performance in some city, but I felt lucky to be included, that you thought of me to experience it with you. So I don't think that anybody's like expecting you to be like, you know what we should do? We should do something that I have no interest in.
Mostly that is the truth. If I invite you to something, I will be seeing it, and I just want you to tag along. But, so this was this friend's appreciation week. This was originally going to be the gift, but then when I found out he didn't have plans throughout the week, I was like, well, let's do other stuff too. So I sent him a like movie trailer or whatever for a movie I thought he would be interested, that I was like semi-interested. I might watch it at home while I'm on my phone at the same time, but it's nothing I would ever see in theaters. It was truly because I thought of him. So I saw it with him for his birthday, and then I posted the like poster of it in my stories, and my friend Anthony messaged me and said, I don't mean this to be mean, but what the hell did you see this film for? And I said, well, funny you should ask. It was because I was thinking of someone else. I'm doing something different in 2025 and only not thinking of myself.
Wow.
I know.
Living and laughing and loving. What movie was it?
Hard Truths, it's called. It's about this woman, a British woman. So that's already.
Wow.
We're
You
doing
really like this
wonders.
friend. A generous gift from Donnie.
You're welcome. And I liked the movie too. It's about this Black British woman who is, in the beginning, she's just a bitch, like a funny bitch. And she's mean to everyone she comes in contact with. And you laugh along the way. But then you find out it's a trauma response. And she found her mother's dead body. And now this is how she's processing it. Her son is nonverbal. Her husband doesn't love her anymore. And like, it's a very sad movie.
Hard Truths.
Yeah. Her sister is the opposite and is like a very joyful woman, and her daughters are joyful and brought up well. And it is a nice time at the movie theater.
Okay.
Yeah. You should see it.
That will be a movie that if I see it, it will be I'm on my phone part of the time. Certainly. I like my media to be light and fluffy and a hee ha ha experience. Although I say that, but I do think that I just need to be in the movie theater to be able to practice mindfulness, because whenever I go to the movie theater, I end up loving the movie and I'm like, oh, right, because I wasn't fucking scrolling Instagram half the time. I was actually paying attention, except for, of course, when I turn to the person next to me and have a little chit chat.
But that's because you're invested. That's allowed. And that's what I'll say about the movies I see with this friend are all movies that wouldn't last 10 minutes if I watched them at home. I would be bored. I would be on my phone. I would say like, no, I'd rather watch Desperate Housewives season 8 again. But when I'm in the theater, I'm invested.
We're like Gen Z when they say they're raw dogging life, which just means not looking at their phone for 10 minutes at a time.
Ugh, everyone should be raw dogging.
Shame on me. I should have led this episode. I should have right at the top, instead of talking about my husband's flatulence. We need to take a moment of silence because we have had a loss this week. It was a tough week in the Ono Chels household. We did lose our little Tamagotchi. I am no longer a grandmother. Those angel wings did fly away, and the Tamagotchi is no more.
How did she handle it?
She was so relieved, Donnie. She literally said, take it. And she thrust her little Tamagotchi in my hand, to which then her older sister said, I'll take a turn. You can also guess, let's take another moment of silence. Because that Tamagotchi lasted one day. It didn't make it to the second birthday. She thinks the poops are too funny and just allows her poor child to get sepsis as she watches. A real Gypsy Rose situation, if you ask me. But now let's just take a moment. Rest in peace. The other thing that happened is I have a new mole on my forehead.
What?
I woke up with and it's not a mole, it's like a dot on my forehead, and I was really concerned. And then Dr. Bald said, no, remember, you got whacked in the face with a toy, it's probably a cut. But it's not going away, Donnie, and I do fear that I just have a random dot on my forehead now, like a sunspot or a beauty mark that's in a very inconvenient place.
Beauty marks on the forehead are not beauty marks. My grandma had one her whole life. It was the happiest day of my life when she finally got it removed.
God bless America. Pepe had a skin tag near his nipple that he would threaten to get pierced every summer.
Ew!
He would kind of like flick it around, and then he'd be like, come on, Chelsea, take me to the tattoo parlor. Let's get it pierced. And it truly made me want to vomit.
That's disgusting. You know what else is disgusting? When I get skin tags, I just cut them off with nail clippers.
That is disgusting and definitely not hygienic. Are you at least like putting some hydrogen peroxide on it before you do it? Or you're just going right toe fungus to skin tag and back again?
Back again. Raw dogging that as well.
I can make a vow that if this little sucker doesn't go away, I will go to the doctor for it because it is aesthetic based.
I thought you were going to say I could pull it off with a nail clipper.
No. I would pierce it before I allowed you to come close with those nail clippers to my forehead. Thank you very much.
Oh, God. So we already told you to go to YouTube and Patreon to see Chelsea's forehead, but here's another time to remind you. Go there.
Do it. So this week brought us Mandy Moore's family staying with Hilary Duff, Carrie Underwood being exactly who you'd assume she is, Heidi Montag's album going #1, Jessica Simpson's divorce, Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster making out in the In-N-Out drive-thru, and Tom Sandoval's pit stains on the Traitors.
Well, we'll get to that. In fact, let's get to it here.
Sure.
The topic I brought today, Chelsea, is some reality TV I've been watching. So first, let's talk about the Traitors. You're all caught up,
Let's talk
yes?
about the Traitors, yes.
I don't like that attitude, so you go first.
Have you ever heard the phrase of a self-fulfilling prophecy, Donnie?
No.
You've never heard of it?
I've heard of it, but you're wrong because I'm getting DMs saying I'm right. But go.
Okay. Well, we know that famously anybody that has disagreed with you in the past now resides in your general inbox. So perhaps the DMs you're getting are the people that know that if they want to keep DMing you, they've got to just yes and you. But you went into the season being like, this cast is a mess. This is going to be terrible. Do I think it's going to be last season? No. Do I think this season is bad? No.
It's not. It's not bad. But last year, and I said it already when the cast was announced, last year felt like All Stars.
Yes.
Last year felt like something we were reaching up towards. What's tough about a show like this is with big names or like with personalities that you're excited to see. Spoiler alert, fast forward if you haven't watched this episode yet. Dorinda goes home first. She's the first one killed. So with that, there are so many DMs I've received or like memes I've seen saying, oh, I wish I could have seen the chaos Dorinda brought to the house. Number one, I was never really a Dorinda fan, so I'm fine that she's gone first, but I think she's just a miserable human being, and that's not what I want from the Traitors.
I used to love Dorinda. Like, Dorinda used to be one of my favorites, but I actually find her, like, incredibly triggering to watch now. Like, I don't find it joyful to watch her berate people. I don't like the constant wet brain slurring she's got going on. Like, I don't really like when she gets mean because I feel like it's just coming from a place of pain that's not fun for my reality television.
Yeah.
But I do think that the bigger the personality, the more likely they're going to go home early. And I hope eventually they do like a Traitors redemption season for all of the people, like Peppermint from last season, throw on Dorinda, like all the people that got voted out first or second that the fan base was really upset we didn't get to see go farther, like put them all back together.
I fully agree. That would be a wonderful season. But with that said, a lot of people are upset Dorinda went first. I'm not one of them. But the housewives in general that were cast this year are, I'm going to say it, sorry if you're a Robin or Dolores fan, they are bottom of the barrel. There are higher housewives we could have got here. Last year, we had them. So it's just that kind of energy in the casting for me that I don't like. And maybe it's because we have so many straight men this season, which that little twist where we bring out 3 straight white men, that bothers me about this season too. But the looks this year aren't giving as well. Last year, I felt like people were pretending they were on Gossip Girl. This year is just like half straight men in a button down, and then Sierra just wearing plaid because she knows she'll look good no matter what she wears.
That's true. I'm even finding myself missing Poverty's headbands.
Well, we'll get to Parvati in a second. I will say, if I ignore last year, we'll pretend season 2 never came into my life, never gave me false hope. It's like this. Imagine at the end of Annie. You've seen Annie, Chelsea?
No, famously, I have not.
Well, guess what about Roger Ebert? He went on a date with Oprah. Annie is about a little orphan girl who is adopted by a rich man on Christmas. And that's like the big finale, whatever.
Cute.
Like, yay. So imagine this. She spends Christmas with Daddy Warbucks, has a wonderful millionaire's Christmas, and then next year she gets shipped back to the orphanage. That's how I feel.
You feel like you have 2 dead parents.
Yeah, and I'm being beat by the lady that runs the orphanage as she drinks.
Okay.
Played famously in the remake by Cameron Diaz. Let's forget that I spent last Christmas at Daddy Warbucks' house. If I only focus on my orphanage Christmas this year, it is a nice Christmas. We are doing the best we can. That first roundtable was chaotic.
Yeah.
I did like that. That was good TV. Bob the Drag Queen is trying to make a lot of moments. I think it's obvious he's trying to make a lot of moments, but
I don't
it's still
mind
good
that.
TV.
I'm here for anything that Bob the Drag Queen does.
Yes.
But at least Bob the Drag Queen is trying.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that if other people were giving us moments, we wouldn't have to rely on like a cutaway to Bob practicing his shocked face all the time.
That's true.
I think his pronouns are he, they. But correct me in the comments, cuties.
I believe so as well. Also, this is where 2025 is going to be a tough year. Just the beginning, probably, of a tough life. But what is probably the toughest part of 2025 for me personally so far is that the person I like the most on The Traitors Season 3 is Robin Dixon.
She has learned her lesson after getting fired from Potomac. She also isn't allowed to talk to Juan.
That's true. I will say I've made it known that I am loving Robin this season of The Traitors. And people are like, well, get ready. She's coming back to Potomac. Well, if she is, I'm leaving. And I don't think that's true. Because all 4 housewives that are on The Traitors this year are all bitches that have been fired. They're collecting unemployment checks.
It's obviously like a different reality TV setup. And one of my faves, Gabby, who I don't even watch The Bachelorette, but I found her on TikTok and I'm obsessed with her. And I love the Jennifer Coolidge voice. I love her looks. I love everything about her. But she has said, like, this is a crash course in a completely different type of reality television. And I do think it shakes people up where if Robin were to come back on Potomac, she's not going to bring that roundtable energy. She's going to go back to being the voice of reason, in air quotes, which just means boring.
And yes, it is reality TV, and yes, they're doing it for money, but they are playing a game. So it's easier to know that, like, the people with brains on them are not going to take this personally. Like, yes, MJ last year did take it personally.
Well, let's repeat what you just said. People with brains on them. My God, I've listened to that woman mumble enough on Jeff Lewis Live to know what she's packing upstairs.
Yeah, and it's that exactly. So I think Robin can come in knowing that there's no stakes and like yell at people and say snarky things, whatever. But then when she's on Potomac and she's like fighting for her life, defending her marriage, that's different.
Yeah, because she doesn't have to have a storyline in the Traitor's house. The storyline is trying to sniff out who is doing wrong. And ironically, usually who's doing wrong is the green-eyed bandit sitting right next to her. So this is a departure for her that she actually has to guess who's behind the messiness.
Exactly.
And I do wish that if they're going to do a who's related to who random cameo, let's just do one. We don't need Zac Efron's brother and Britney Spears' ex cosplaying Danny Zuko. Just one a season, I think, is fine. Especially because it's clear that Sam is, like, not allowed to talk about Britney.
I agree. I feel like they try to bring drama in. Like, with the Big Brother girls, they brought in 2 people that just had a feud during reindeer games. So, like, I get it. We're trying to bring in drama. So, bringing Sam in, there is Britney Spears stuff. But if he can't talk about it, and if we're not bringing in, like, Jamie Lynn, who I wouldn't want to see, but if we're not bringing in a member of the Spears family with him, then what are we doing this for?
Bring on Justin Timberlake, and then we can talk about Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say, having Sam in that shower scene, they know what he's there for. Like when it was Robin in bed reading or like Sierra putting on lotion and then it cuts to him just rubbing soap on his chest. I could watch that scene all day. In fact, I have.
So Donnie's found one positive thing out of the season. What's the deal with, you know that I always come to you for the Survivor and Big Brother lore and backstory. What's Carolyn's deal? Like, she's obviously cuckoo, but I can't tell if it's like a cuckoo bananas that I love or if it's like unsettling to me.
Both. She is a great person, and I think she's a joy to watch. I don't know if she'll get that edit here. I do think she is smart, and I do think all the bad decisions the Traitors are making are
Not
because
her.
they're listening to Bob and Danielle. Everything
Yes.
Carolyn says is making sense.
She's also like weirdly socially off-putting in a way that like puts her completely under the radar. Yeah. It's all working for her. I just like cannot nail her down, which I think is why she's being so successful.
She was a drug addict and then 15 years ago went sober, but I think after a life of it has lasting effects. So now she's a like addiction coach, and that's what she does with her life. So her story really is a wonderful one, but I think like the not blinking and all of that is from
residual.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good context to have because I could not get a read on her. I realize I think I'm always rooting for the traitors. I don't know what that says about me, but I always want the traitors to win.
I go back, it depends who it is, but I would be fine with the traitors winning now. Also with Carolyn, on Survivor, they normally edit out producers talking to people. So like they'll set you up and say like, Chelsea, tell me what Donnie did on the island. And you say, Donnie did this. And then they cut out the prompt. But her season starts with her staring at the camera smiling and she's like, what do I say? And then he's like, tell me your name and what you do. And then she's like, what do you mean? And then he says like, I'm Carolyn, I'm an addiction coach, this is my background, da 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 da. And then she says, can't we just use that? And they have never, ever used like a producer talking in those segments, but hers was so wild that they started the season with that.
I love that.
Yeah. Someone else I love, Chelsea, is Parvati. Let's circle back to her. She's not on The Traitor season 2, but what she is on is Deal or No Deal Island season 2.
Okay, please tell me about this because I don't understand. It's just a bunch of words put together.
I made a story talking about how it's basically a reality show title from the beginning of Stepford Wives. Like, I can do better. Like, Deal or No Deal Island does seem like a parody show, but it is so good. Now, Parvati is what drew me in, but everybody else is brand new. She's the only, like, known person.
Wait, can I tell you, based on that title, what I think it is?
Please.
So, is it random celebrities come to an island and they all are only given a briefcase of belongings, and when you open it, that's all you have to survive for the week?
That would be good. Maybe we can pitch that as I'm the Cute One Island.
Okay.
How? I don't really know, but we'll make it work. So what this is, it's not celebrities, it's normal people, and then they just bring Parvati in as a normal person so that people like me watch. Season 1 came and went, and I didn't watch, but here I am watching for Parvati. She was a terrible traitor, I will admit it here on I Am the Cute One, but she is brilliant. Every single person that came up to her and said, I know who you are, she's like, please, please, please don't tell anyone else. This is our secret. And then it cuts to her in a confessional and she's like, one thing people love to bond with other people is having a secret. Brilliant. I got the chills saying it. This is convoluted. Stay with me. It has become, Chelsea, one of the only shows not filmed in a house that I'm willing to go on. I want to go on Deal or No Deal Island.
Okay.
So you have to do competitions individually. And during the competitions, you have to get briefcases that have money listed on the side of it. In the first episode, at least, there were 3 different ways you could go. One was like a forest path that is not very hard. One was a thing where you had to jump from like buoy to buoy in the water to get to like this pyramid that had the things. And then another one was a zip line. So depending on which path you took, they were higher amounts on the harder things you had to do. So then you go and you get a briefcase. Everyone gets a briefcase. And with that briefcase, whatever that amount is, those are the amounts that go into a game of Deal or No Deal at the end. So if someone gets $1 million case, we're playing for $1 million. If someone gets a penny case, we're playing for a penny. And all those amounts go into Deal or No Deal at the end of the episode. So then whoever has the highest amount is like basically the head of household that episode. And they get to pick one person that will play Deal or No Deal at the end of the episode. Now, this person who plays Deal or No Deal at the end of the episode, if they lose, they get sent home. If they win, they get to pick someone out of who's left to go home that episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a crazy show.
It is, but I'm loving it. And then the last thing, forget Deal or No Deal Island. Forget The Traitors season 3. In the Netherlands, Chelsea, there is a river where they put up a door so that it closes the canal at certain times. But then because of that, fish can't go through. So then they put a door on the dam that it's someone's job to open it every time a fish comes. But here's the thing, Chelsea. There are predator fish now waiting on the other side.
Is this a reality show or this is just life?
This is life, but listen, it's also a reality show because there are predator fish.
We are in a Black Mirror episode.
It is so good.
The world is ending around us, and we have a reality show about pushing a button to let fish go through.
No, we don't see the man pushing the button. We help him do his job. Listen, please follow me. So there's a door that the fish can swim out and cross to the other side. But because the other predator fish know that they're going to come through that door, they wait. So
yeah,
now,
because we've like given nature a way for predators to just wait by a door for the human to push a button. It's their very own hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars.
So now there's a camera set there, Chelsea, because they can't have someone working that button 24 hours a day. He has other things to do, paperwork or something. So now it's our job as citizens to watch this, and we can ring a doorbell when a fish arrives and there's not a predator on the other side, and the guy knows that means it's time for me to push the button and let him out.
Anybody can do that?
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes.
Okay, and I guess this is going to be a test once and for all. Is humanity good or are they bad? Because at what point are people going to start pushing that button to watch those poor fish get eaten?
It's like that horror movie where someone was killing people on a live stream, and the more views it had, the more painful the death would be. You ever see that?
No.
It's a wonderful film. So then people are sick because the views are going up and up. Yeah.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself pushing that button.
Doorbell.
Link in the show notes. Speaking of sick, I want to talk about, and this comes from page 6. The headline reads, "Scammer posing as Brad Pitt gets woman to hand him $850,000 after he shares fake hospital photos." Now, I'm going to keep this brief. As someone who had to do Clickers Anonymous 2 times at my previous employment, I do understand how this could happen. So the 53-year-old interior designer, Anne, gave the fake Pitt her life savings after she was duped into believing that he was sick in the hospital with the help of AI images. So once again, AI not doing a damn good thing. And the scammer sent her poems and messages, photoshopped pictures, and he convinced her that he was in need of funds to pay for his kidney treatment, telling her that he couldn't pay for his medical bills because of his long, bitter divorce from Angelina. You know, again, I have been one to click on a link and give my social security number or full birthday, mother's maiden name, etc. I'm no better than Anne, but I gotta show you this picture. There's a photo of a photoshopped Brad Pitt that does look like that like Kim Kardashian TikTok filter where it just like puts her face on your face, and he's holding up a sign that says, "Anne, I love you."
Here's my time to tell you, cuties, I'm not here to ruin your Cinderella story, but the closest we've ever seen in our lifetime to a Cinderella story is Meghan Markle and Harry. And I need to remind you, Meghan Markle was an actress. She blew someone in the premiere of 90210. She was turning briefcase every episode. She was not a normal person. She was already the prize. If she would have married me, I would have been happy with that life story.
That would have been a Cinderella story.
Exactly. No celebrity is going to message you to be with you. And if they are, it's a one-night thing. You'll have to send an NDA.
Yeah, you'll be wearing noise-canceling headphones and Leonardo DiCaprio's glass dome as he fucks you from behind. That's a real tale, not from me, but from many women, including one I know personally.
Oh, Jesus.
He's got a rhythm that he likes, and it's from behind in that glass dome. Don't talk to me. Put on those headphones, bitch.
Oh, my God.
But poor Anne. The way this all started is that somebody slid into her DMs pretending to be Brad Pitt's mother, Jane, and said, "My son just needs somebody like you."
Anne.
So I hope Anne's okay. People have been really mean to her on the internet since she's come forward with this tale. She was expecting sympathy, and she just got people pointing and laughing at her. But also, Anne, Brad Pitt's a piece of shit. I don't know if anybody's been following that divorce, but you lucked out, girl, that you're not hitching your horse to that wagon because, ew. So now it's time for the cutie of the week.
I would love to go first. My cutie of the week is Emily James, a Kansas City trans woman who paid $17,000 to have her ribs removed for a skinnier waist, and then she turned them into a crown.
That is iconic.
It is iconic. I want to spend that $17,000 to buy the crown and just wear on podcast recordings.
Marilyn Manson could never.
Never. Now, I don't agree with removing ribs that she removed, but the crown part. I'm just trying to figure out what bones I can take out because I need a bone crown.
Well, maybe if I get this mole removed, that can be
a diamond, yeah.
Yeah, the little bejeweled set for the crown. And hey, if you save those toenail clippings from your skin tags, we'll be able to bedazzle it in no time.
Huh. So there's all that.
Great. My cutie of the week is hammerhead sharks.
Mm.
Number one, just because it must be hard to have a head shaped like that.
Move it, football head. Yeah.
But also, did you know that female hammerhead sharks gather under the full moon once a year? And they don't know why. Scientists have no idea. And they just come together under a specific full moon in the ocean. And I think witchcraft. I think a gathering of hammerhead shark females under the full moon, I'd like to be a part of that. I wouldn't take a tiny little submarine to see the Titanic with the billionaires, but I would pay money to go down and witness whatever's going on there.
Well, that means you haven't seen 47 meters down. You need to stay away from sharks, Chelsea. Also, number 2, is this a recent scientific discovery, or you just decided, no, today, in my Cutie of the Week segment, I'll talk about something that's been happening forever?
Not new at all, but new to my brain, at least since the last time I retained the information. No, my mom sent me an article, and one thing about my mom is if she's sending me an article, it might be from the 90s, it might be from yesterday, it might be fake news, but she's going to screenshot the headline and send it on over.
Cuties, I hope you learned a lot this week.
And once again, a magical episode. I started out as a bitch, and I ended in a better mood. So maybe I won't murder my husband because of his toots.
Well, that's good.
You saved a life today, cuties, for listening to this.
On that note, we are covering Phone Booth on Monday.
Ooh, we sure are. Speaking of movies that is good to scroll on your phone as you're watching.
It is not. That
we'll
is
save
edge
it
of
for
your
Monday,
seat.
Donnie, because it was my first time
Well, then
watching.
you shouldn't have said that.
And I have thoughts.
Oh, my God. So do I. Cuties, we will talk to you later. Love you like a sister. Bye.
Bye.